This is Appalling News, your most trusted source for fake real news. I'm Paul Chatto. Before we get to the inevitable Charlie Kirk firing story, we thought we'd start with this. Under the category of "If you terrorize and massacre people, you will be rewarded with your own country," Britain's ruling Labour government Prime Minister Keir Starmer will be recognizing the Palestinian state this weekend, according to The Times. However, we have not been able to confirm if the Palestinians will be recognizing Britain. Still in the UK, the once great home of English civilization, apparently Breastfeeding and Lactation Support UK's Facebook group, with more than 57,000 members, has banned gendered language. Does that include knockers, hooters, and milk jugs, we wonder? Becky O'Connor, the forum admin, posted the following. "We are an inclusive group. We do not discriminate, and we have a zero-tolerance policy towards issues such as racism, homophobia, transphobia, etc. We will not stand for it." But clearly you do discriminate against the UK Supreme Court's ruling that said that there are only two sexes. "We will not be accepting posts that start with things along the lines of 'Hey ladies' or 'Hey mamas,' as not all of our members identify as ladies, females, mamas, etc., and this language is exclusionary. Yes, exclusionary to a very infinitesimal minority because satisfying the wishes of the majority is lactation supremacy and is less important than servicing the feelings of a few women with hormone-induced stubble and a couple of blokes with pillows stuffed up their tunics. Please use non-gendered language to address the entire group, such as, 'Hey all, if you do not agree to this, please leave quietly and respectfully. We aren't going to keep debating the validity of people's existence.' Oh, but sweetheart, can I say sweetheart? There is no debate until you introduce gendered language in place of reality. And where is this imaginary debate going to take place when you've commanded you won't permit it? Did you forget what inclusive means, Becky? Now, the controversy around the gendered language does go back several years when hospital guidelines suggested using human milk or chest milk and birthing person. The guidelines were introduced to improve access and health outcomes for marginalized groups, particularly trans men and non-binary people who may not identify as mothers. Of course, that's exactly the person you want to raise a healthy, well-adjusted child. Someone who does not want to identify as your mother. There are enough up straight mothers out there already. The moderator of the group has since posted that if anyone responds with a laughing emoji in reference to gender-neutral language, they will be removed and banned. Does the poop emoji count? Because, as you all know, here at Appalling News, we believe men make the best women. Now, let's head off to Islamabad. Sorry, we meant London, England, where controversial English figure Tommy Robinson presided over a march for free speech and the fight to keep England's identity English, protesting two-tier policing, jailing for social media posts, and not being able to display British flags. Of course, the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, rather than happily invite 120,000 visitors to patronize local businesses, had this to say about the peaceful gathering. "I know many people, particularly from London's diverse communities, are feeling extremely worried following the events this weekend." What an ominous start! And what exactly did Khan mean by people particularly from London's diverse communities? Oh, you meant non-whites who make up 60% of London? Of course, how silly of us. Worried about what? There was very little to no reported violence, except by a small group of counter-protesters you support. But let's continue. It takes me back to how I felt growing up in the 70s and 80s when far-right political parties marched on our streets. Really, that's how you felt while sitting timidly on your couch in your flat avoiding the event? Oh, you're disingenuously conflating the decidedly racist past with this peaceful march. The leaders of the far right are once again attempting to hijack our flag, with minorities being intimidated and fear, hatred, and division being sown. Which flag are you referring to, Sadiq? All these ones? As Londoners and as proud Brits, we must unite to reject the far right, just as we have many times before. Who is this far right you keep banging on about? Perhaps these people, who for some reason you don't consider proud Brits, are more anti-left than far-right, who are willing to stand up for our British values of equality, inclusion, and mutual respect. Sadiq, darling, this march came about precisely because regular Britons were not getting equality, inclusion, and mutual respect. As mayor, I'll continue to do everything I can to challenge the far right and all those who peddle the politics of fear and division. Sadiq, the only person peddling the politics of fear and division is you. And finally, as promised, some Charlie Kirk job loss blues. We are not going to comment on the self-immolation of this individual's career, other than to say, why are all you people doing this to yourselves? Are you stupid? Put away your phones. Anyway, we're more interested in parsing this young person's career choices.
At 5 p.m., I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. Specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job where my role was to increase educational equity to all students.
Her role was to increase educational equity to all students. All right, she was administering some form of DEI. We are curious whose equity she is preferentially increasing.
That was my job. That was wasn't really just my job, it was my identity.
It wasn't just her job, it was her identity. We're sorry, but if your ultimate purpose in life is to administer DEI programs, that is honestly sad. When did DEI become a dream job?
For this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth.
Why are we not surprised?
I told myself I wouldn't go back to a job where I couldn't be my authentic self.
Couldn't be your authentic self? This, of course, is nonsense. We spend our youth creating an inauthentic self before figuring out who we really are decades later.
I wasn't fired for saying that I don't care about it because everyone on my team agrees with that.
Everyone on your team agrees with that. And this is why you were comfortable telling the world you didn't care about Kirk's death because you thought it was the common prevailing narrative. You have known nothing but your bubble your entire life. This tells us your authentic self is one devoid of experiences.
And they posted my job and my LinkedIn to the white supremacists. And so that's why I was fired. Not actually because of what I said.
So it was the white supremacist hiding under your bed who got you fired? Clearly you believe all white people are supremacists. We get your coded message.
Really, I feel so grateful because my coworkers have been reaching out to me and just telling me they'll be my references.
Glad your coworkers are supporting you. And we guarantee each one is thinking, we is glad we ain't as stupid as this bitch. This is Appalling News, and that's the way it is.